music.
This is the Ninja Rob Podcast with Marco Perazzo and Tim Carpenter. The podcast for the true martial artist.
Here we are. Episode 13.
Lucky 13.
Lucky 13?
Can we label it 14?
No, we're going to keep it as 13. Look at the beautiful backdrop.
Yeah, party nerds, real
Yeah.
rap, Gamerdelphia.
Real rap. Oh, nice. But the shining star of SFX Studios podcast, conglomerate, Ninja Rob podcast.
We made it.
Yeah, we're up on the wall. Here we are. Welcome, everyone. I'm Marco Perazzo with my co-host.
Oh, Tim Carpenter.
Yeah, I was going to. I
Yeah.
think that by
Tim-
now, I think they
yeah,
know
yeah.
where I'm from, who I am, what I run.
Hey, what if we have a new listener?
Hopefully we have more than a singular new listener, but how are things, buddy? I was mentioning to you earlier in our off-air conversation, you're looking quite beefy.
I've been doing nothing but lifting since I injured
Weights?
my groin. Weights.
Yeah. Oh, man, I forgot completely. How's the groin?
It's getting better.
Yeah?
Yep.
Training?
So, I've been going like light. I haven't really like rolled hard, but I've been like doing like a lot of flow wrestling and drilling. But other than that, I've just been lifting.
Nice. You looks like it's taking hold on you. You're adding some beef upper body, shoulder presses, bench presses. What do you got?
Pretty much every day, shoulder presses and bench presses and curls.
Man, you're going for the show muscles.
Yeah, I mean, those are also, I think those are important for jiu-jitsu. I think your biceps are pretty important for jiu-jitsu.
Holding off arm locks, choking people's
choking
necks.
people,
Okay.
squeezing things,
All right.
body locking people.
Yes, taking them down.
You know.
Yeah.
So I think show muscles are also go muscles.
They could be. They could be.
But
But
you wouldn't know. You've got neither.
So we're starting right out of the gate with insulting my
No, I'm just not insulting. Why are you insulted?
you claim it's a statement of fact.
Yeah, I meant no.
Ill will?
Yeah, there's no.
You're
ill will
trying to
behind it.
not to try to damage my psyche and
Well, have
or,
you been working out or something?
No, have not.
I can tell.
Man, really setting you up here. So what do we got on plate? Did you bring the notes you printed out?
No, I printed the notes that I printed out, but I did not bring them.
Okay, so you did not bring the notes that you printed out.
No.
We're very well prepared.
Well, I did
today's-
bring them, just not in printed out form.
So you printed the notes. Thought it would be better to leave them in the printer.
No, I left them on the desk.
Are we doing a simulcast? Is somebody going to be podcasting from your desk?
No. I mean, I fully meant to bring them, but
Maybe it's all the lifting
I'm somewhat disorganized.
and disoriented. So we're using Tim's phone here, and even though I have better eyesight, you wanted to talk about this recent movie that you saw. And
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
yeah, this
Because
is really.
Bruce Lee, especially since Bobby won't let it go.
That's what I was going to say. I'm surprised we didn't get an email from Bobby this week. We seem to be weekly emails from
I
him.
told him to go see it because it has a very accurate portrayal of Bruce Lee.
I read a headline that Bruce Lee's children are not happy with how he was portrayed in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that.
What
Truth hurts sometimes.
What
So they don't. I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, it just wasn't like glorifying him. It was basically he was on set of a movie, kind of like talking shit about how tough he was and how he would beat Muhammad Ali in a fight, and then Brad Pitt challenges him to a fight and throws him into a car, and you know. But it's actually like if you
based
really
on some history, right? Like didn't Judo Gene LaBelle put him in a headlock and just
I think
run
that
around?
So it's Brad Pitt's a stuntman, Gene LaBelle was a stuntman.
Right.
It's kind of like, and you know, Bruce Lee hits him with a flying kick first, knocks him down. He gets back up, says try it again, and then he grabs his leg and smashes him into a car. I think it's a great scene.
Okay.
And so I mean, Bruce Lee doesn't even lose; it just ends up even. They both get each other once,
Okay.
and then the fight gets broken up.
So the flying sidekick did something to Brad Pitt's character?
yeah.
Okay.
But it's very good. It just shows like how sort of like full of shit he was, like you know,
As a fighter.
well, just as a person going around claiming how superior he was to like guys that had proven that they were good at something, and
It's tough to
he's an
say
actor,
that you could beat Muhammad Ali when Muhammad Ali has 50, whatever, however many fights.
especially if you have zero,
Right.
you know,
Professional
and then
fights.
you're gonna claim,
And apparently he's 1-1 on the set.
yeah, yeah. He claims, you know, he says I think somebody in the movie asked him like, how would you do against Muhammad Ali? He's like, he would end up in the hospital.
What, over like dehydrated after he beat him in the
Sweating too
smithereens?
But yeah, I don't think it was as bad as the people are saying it was. It was also funny. It was like a little.
Does he have a big role in the movie?
No, he's in it for one scene, and that maybe two scenes because it shows him training. What's her name? Sharon Tate, the woman that.
Oh yeah, because it goes into some other stuff, right?
Yeah, it's about the Manson family.
Yeah, so it's about the Manson murders.
Well, it's no. That's the backdrop of the movie, is the Manson murders.
Speaking of backdrops, did you see
Yeah.
the new?
Ninja Rob
Yeah,
backdrop.
we're up there.
But go see the movie. It's like a 3-hour movie. It's maybe 2 hours too long. But that scene is.
That's not really a good reason to go see a movie.
No,
if you're telling me 2/3 of it are
I
superfluous.
actually might go see it again.
Really? Are you gonna
Yeah.
go see the 1/3 you liked
No, I'm gonna see the whole thing. I want to rewatch it, see if
in
it's
its entirety?
yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Did Nikki see it? Nicolette,
yeah, she hated it.
the whole thing. She didn't even like a third of it.
No, she liked the third.
The-
She didn't like the first 2/3. She liked
Okay.
the last third.
All right.
Um,
Well, it's nice you got to go to the movies.
The ending's worth
The juice is worth the squeeze.
the juice is worth the squeeze with that
All right.
movie,
Okay.
especially for the Bruce Lee scene.
Are we done talking movies? That was awful.
I guess
Yeah. All right.
you brought it up.
It was on the notes.
What notes?
The notes on your desk. So I want to talk a little bit about the business of owning a martial arts school
Mm-hmm.
and what your history and or success or lack of success has been with people that have just walked in out of the blue versus a student that has contacted you through either the website or a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noted any difference in kind of success rate in them joining and staying?
Yeah. So people that walk in, either they sign up right away. They're like, "Hey, I want to sign up."
Like right on the spot.
Yeah, they're like,
okay.
like I looked you up online. I want to sign up. They're
Okay.
like, you might get that once in a while, but that's very rare. Mostly, people that walk in just want to talk to you about. A lot of times, they want to talk to you about things that they've done in the past. They want to, and I think there's a part of it that for them, they tried. They went in, they saw it. That's like a big victory for them.
It's a very big barrier to entry, right? Like walking into a martial arts school, especially as an adult, is it can be intimidating if you've never done it before. For a lot of people, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
From people, like the hardest thing I did was just even coming, which is great. I mean, it's a big win for a lot of people. And much like you, yeah, I've had, and this all leads into kind of because I have a year left on my lease, and I'm trying to figure out what kind of space to move into, either stay where I'm at, which I'm gonna, you've been to my school. I'm on Route 38, but there's thousands of cars that drive by every day, but we get very little walk-in traffic, and the walk-ins that we get are just really odd, right? Or
Transient,
yeah, and and literally sometimes it's people that are walking by. Route 38 is a major highway.
And usually people that are walking down the highway there's something wrong with them. Because highways aren't meant for walking.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Agreed, yeah.
So if you're walking down a highway, you're some sort of drifter, maybe a homeless, mentally ill person.
Okay.
Maybe your car broke down.
But you probably wouldn't be stopping in a martial arts school if your car broke down.
Right. Unless you asked to use the phone.
Right. Every once in a while, I get somebody to say, "Hey, I drove by and noticed your school." It's like I don't think we're in the kind of business that people, "Hey, you know what? Let me try martial arts today."
Right.
Yeah, it's like, all right, I really want to do this. There's various reasons. So it kind of leads me into the idea of the question is do martial arts schools based on, like, especially if they're more adult oriented, need to be in a retail storefront versus a less visible location?
I don't think so at all. I mean, I think maybe it can help a little bit. I've never had really like retail space. And the people I know that have like some of the most successful schools they're hard to find. Like you can't see them from the street. Some of them don't even have signs out on the street. You just you have to actually want to go to find it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think sometimes having a larger barrier to entry can make it better, because the people that come in, they have to go through some steps to get there.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, because I agree with you. I don't think, and my history has been, I was on Main Street and 2 locations there that maybe it helped a little bit with kids' classes, where a parent would come by and our kid would look in and then they get some information. But usually it feels like most of the people that I get that stick, that become really good students, are people that have gone through a more traditional channel of contacting me, either through my website, email, or a phone call. So
Yeah, I really don't like people that just walk in and show up. I think on on the Facebook page, there's like a section that says walk-ins accepted.
Oh, for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I have it clicked as like you can walk in.
It's like getting a haircut.
Yeah, but when somebody wants to try out the class, if they just show up, I might not have somebody there to work with them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I've had like one of the worst experiences I've ever had with somebody just walking in.
Yeah.
Where they wound up calling me a racist, and
Oh.
and they weren't Asian, and
They were spot on.
and because I told them they couldn't take the class that they wanted to take, it was like, well, this is an advanced class. You can't take an advanced.
Really?
Yeah, this is because I don't give anybody any special treatment. You come my idea is you just popping in isn't helpful, because you're probably popping in at a time that I'm either not having class, or I don't, like you were saying, you don't have somebody that's there that would be able to help them with what they wanted to do. So I try to set people up during a class time so that we can make so they can start making a decision. Does this class time work with what I'm doing?
Person never trained before?
They had trained before, yeah.
Okay.
But if I don't know you and we haven't had an in-depth conversation, then I'm not, you can't just jump right into an advanced class.
Right.
It's just not what I'm going to let you
So
do.
they came in, they were like, I want to jump in this class right now.
Correct, yeah.
And you were like, no.
Yeah, can't do it.
And then they called you racist.
They went 10 minutes later, posted on Facebook talking about that I let the little blonde girl in class, but I wouldn't let her in class.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Who was the little blonde girl?
Amy Abate.
And she'd been training with you for a while.
For a while, yeah. So she had been, she's like, if I was that blonde-haired woman.
We should do, because we've both had some pretty good reviews left on like Google and Facebook. We should read them maybe every once in a while. We should bring one on.
Yeah, like I had
It was mostly just the one guy.
Yeah, the one guy
that left several
yeah.
reviews, but he's a great reviewer.
He's awesome, but the great part is he left a review from my school and he had never even been there.
Right. He left. I looked around. He's left reviews for a lot of different schools.
Yeah. So this girl
had
that
the same
claimed me or accused me of some racism. She left up. She's like, you look at her reviews, it's like 40 of them and 38 are 1 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like a serial poor reviewer.
You know who else is like that?
Who's that?
Meathead Matt.
He leaves poor reviews?
He's a big. I don't know if he's not a poor reviewer.
Okay.
He leaves, I think, accurate reviews.
Gotcha. Okay.
But
okay.
if he feels like he's been done wrong, he'll definitely let the internet know.
Awesome.
And I also think if he's been done right, he'll let the internet know.
Yeah. I've gotten some solid reviews from him, but for me, I don't even know how. I look at some businesses and go, man, they have 1,000 reviews and it's a 5.0. How someone never had a bad experience here?
I think if you're talking about Yelp, I think you pay to get that stuff taken off.
Okay. Yeah. Now more like I don't even think people use Yelp anymore, from what I could tell. But
oh, really?
I don't really I've never hear anybody saying, oh yeah, I saw you on Yelp. They will say, I think I'm at like a 4.7 or 4.8 on Google and Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some poor reviews. A couple of them are just like nonsense where people just made up stuff. But people will go and say, man, your reviews were great.
Yeah,
and,
I get that a lot too.
Yeah, and even one of the best things I've did is the couple of the poor reviews that were legitimate, where I'd made a mistake with somebody, where I kind of probably didn't treat them as well as I could have treated them.
Mm-hmm.
I went on the review and apologized. And I was like, hey, I'm sorry, come back in, I'll make it right for you, like this, that, and the other.
Flip-flopper.
No, I wasn't apologizing. Not a flip-flopper, just an apologize. I basically questioned this guy's manhood because he didn't want to make a decision on the spot, because he had to go and ask his wife if he could join.
Man.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It was one of the times when I was into the hard sell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never gotten that.
Yeah, the guy was a police officer as well, and I was like,
So you thought that would be the right move? Question his manhood, and
yeah. At the time,
what you should have done is say, you know, sort of sell it on him as it's going to save his life.
I tried to.
Oh, that didn't work.
Yeah,
So then
yeah.
you questioned.
I could question his manhood. So, I forgot exactly what I said, but made it be known that I was like, oh, that's cool. You got to ask your wife to join. That's.
I mean,
Do
So
you think she'll say no?
one time I had a guy he was like, he said the price was, his wife didn't want him to spend that much money.
Okay.
And I said, how much money will she allow you to spend? And then somebody like, I forget who told me. It might have been Nikki, might have been D Nice who told me. They thought that was kind of messed up, but I didn't think so. I was like, what do you think? I was basically just saying, like, what do you think is the right?
You're asking, see, but he could go and construe that as, what do you mean she's allowing me to spend? We've set a budget. We've agreed to this spend, right? But the way he's selling
still,
it,
would it be an answer to the question?
I agree, but I could see where somebody could get offended from that.
Well, if that guy's listening, I apologize.
You're a real flip flopper then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this leads me to start looking at maybe some more non-traditional spaces if I do move the school. I mean, I wouldn't have to move it till the end of June of next year, so I have time to think about it. But I don't want to get caught with my pants down and not have a place to move to move the location. So.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of non-traditional spaces.
Yeah, because you're inside. You were kind of, it was a little industrial where Bridgeport was. The first
Yeah,
Bridgeport
it was really
location.
industrial.
Yeah.
It was just the garage.
It was an old like paint shop or something, right?
Yeah.
Like car repair shop.
Actually, it was a car repair shop. It was a computer place. It was just like a little workshop.
Okay.
And now even my current space is like, it's pretty nice in Bridgeport, but it's also unconventional. It's connected to a gym.
Okay. Like inside is part of the gym, or is it like a separate?
It's separate from the gym, but it's in the same building. It's like,
Okay.
The gym is behind us, and we're sort of near like the front lobby area.
Okay.
It used to be part of the gym, but they put a wall up. So, and then my Chalfont space is like, you can't even see it from the road. I have a sign out on the road, but sometimes people park in the parking lot and they can't find it.
Yeah, like you've been to Chris Hughes' school, right? I mean, like it's.
Yeah.
I know where it is. And
On
I can't find
Armbar Avenue.
Yes.
It's crazy how he was able to find a place on that street.
Right. I think it's next to Electric Avenue.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you to make a left on Electric Avenue and a right on Armbar Ave, you're right there. But even there, that's a tough. That's not real easy to find. It's in the back. Like I know where it is, and every once in a while I go,
Same thing, Paramount Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
I don't think he even has a sign on the road. I've been there several times, and I always get lost when I go there.
Right.
But it's filled with students that can find it.
That's the important part, right? Yeah. So that leads me to believe that for kids or adults, it doesn't quite matter because even
especially nowadays, like everybody's got GPS and the internet. Like you can find anything.
Right.
You want
Yeah. Because
now.
retail rents are super crazy high too, man. You're talking about anywhere from $18 to $24 per square foot, and if you have a decent sized building, you're looking at a lot of money that's going out for something that's not really bringing in students, right? From a standpoint where I could use whatever monies that I save in rent and put it in.
It also doesn't really benefit the students. You know what I mean? Like to be there. Whereas like being in I think being in a non-traditional space, you have more freedom to build things the way you want it. Like if you get a warehouse, almost always the landlord's cool with you putting up a wall or making changes to the open space.
Right. So yeah, so if any of my students know of any non-traditional spaces, I'd love to. Yeah, here in South Jersey, Cherry Hill, Pennsauken, Merchantville. Shout out to all the students. Man, there's low to no energy today.
I got plenty of energy.
All right, I'm talking about us as a podcasting unit.
I think we got plenty.
Yeah.
Should
you want me to read the review about the karate school review?
Oh, since we were talking about reviews, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, you read it.
All right. So this is a review that I found for a local South Jersey karate school. I won't name it, but this is a Google review. This review is taken verbatim. This place is tiny. Compare it to other places in the area. To be honest, the children instructors look more like it should be working in McDonald's than in karate class. I'm taking out my kid out of the school after just a few short weeks. They only have one instructor, and the class lasts around 20 minutes each, and the fat instructor talk more in the class than actually be teaching karate. By the way, the fat instructor are always out of breath and very sweating after each class. I've seen other karate instructors in the other school that wouldn't even break a sweat or try to catch a breath after they finish their class. This school is more of sales than teaching karate. Their number one goal is to sell, sell, sell. What do you think of that review? Would you be happy if somebody left you that one, calling you fat, out of breath, old sweat hog?
I mean, they couldn't call me out of breath. I mean, they might be able to call me fat depending on who I'm being compared to.
Right.
But no. I mean, what do you like so much about this review?
So
is it because it's against the competitive school?
Well, partly because this guy at one point said he was going to put me out of business.
Oh.
Right. And I came back with my famous line, the only person that could put me out of business is me.
Damn.
I know. Oh, snap. We should make T-shirts. So that I liked. And then secondly, it's tough for me to hear that somebody in our industry, where we're supposed to be helping people become in better shape, learn self-defense, become better people. And that's one thing if you're big. It's one thing if you're husky, right? If you're a power lifter type and all that other stuff. But the way she's making it, or whoever wrote this review is making it sound as this person is morbidly obese.
Yeah, I do think that can be an issue. Like, you can't just be a fat guy teaching martial arts. Like, as a instructor or coach, you have a certain responsibility to carry yourself in a certain way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, which, can be tough. Like, you're not always in a good mood. You're not always like,
Right. Or be motivated to train or
right.
Yeah.
But,
but see, that
you
shows
take on the responsibility when you decide to get into this business.
And what it kind of shows me is the nonsense sometimes of the traditional martial arts and the traditional martial artists of how they're talking about, it's discipline. Well, I mean, there's a clear lack of, unless he has some sort of a disease that his pituitary is jacked up.
There's no such thing.
Okay, so then I can't even make an excuse for him. It's lack of discipline.
Yeah.
And if you're selling, my child's having trouble in school, but you can't put a cheeseburger down and drop 20 pounds.
And also, what if kid's overweight? You want him to get in shape.
And he's not the guy.
The guy he's supposed to look up to is completely out of shape.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I mean, I like that she called him the fat instructor. But I mean, hey, I sweat a lot of times when I teach.
I sweat a lot of times when and I've had people come in and I'm a sweat hog, but we're usually it's because we're actively training or being active, not because we had a tough time walking across the mat to get to greet them.
So do you know this guy?
Not personally.
But is he? Have you seen him?
No.
Okay, so we don't know how fat he is.
I don't know, but I mean, if somebody's going to go on the internet and write a review and call you fat in 3 different sentences, they're at least overweight.
She could be just upset.
Yeah.
But this is another thing. This is usually a sign of a shady school, is when they're trying to give you as little as possible, like a 20-minute class,
right,
and keep trying to sell you things like weapons and uniforms.
The extra 10 minutes.
And yeah. It's a 20-minute class, but if you pay an extra $50 a month,
you join the black belt club, right? And see, there's certain things, and I tell a lot
of. So there's nothing wrong with having that kind of sort of setup at your gym where there's like
different levels of training,
different levels,
and you pay maybe different prices for different levels of training.
I mean, there should be, if you're willing to dedicate more time, and the instructor's willing to give you more than just like a basic member, then there's nothing wrong with having another level of class. But there's something that a lot of karate schools do where it's like, your kid comes in, he's there for a month, and then they'll be like, oh, your son's doing really good, he's ready for the Ninja Warriors Club,
right?
He'll get a set of nunchucks, and he'll get a headband, and it's only an extra $200 a month,
right, yeah.
And then a month after that, he'll be ready for the Ultimate Ninja Warriors Club.
Right. There's always some sort of like there's a continual upsell.
Yeah.
And the problem is not that they're giving you more, is that they've really just taken a lot away.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they've pared down the class with a program so that it's not the class that your child is receiving or the adult is receiving is not a full class. It's different than, I would say, a beginner class where beginners need to learn certain techniques, right? But now it's like, well, if you need to move up into the intermediate class, you need to get this extra gi. You have to pay an extra $300 a month. And I know a lot of people are very successful with that model if they do it. But there's certain things I'm just no longer comfortable in trying to do.
Yeah.
That's one
You
of
see
them.
that a lot in the big chain martial arts schools, like the franchise martial arts schools, because there's like, they have a whole business behind it. I remember I was friends with a guy that owned one of them, and I knew the guy that like ran the entire operation.
Okay.
And I saw some of their like videos on what they do, and it's like they teach the kid. It's like the same exact techniques for like 3 years, and it's just games, and it's like 4 techniques, some games,
Right.
breaking boards, getting constantly giving stripes and medals and
Well,
stickers and
man, that's one thing that I'm just really like. I talk to the parents and I go, I want to hopefully get your kids to love jujitsu and want to be in it because they have fun doing it and they really enjoy it, and you see the benefits and the changes rather than chasing the trinket.
right.
Like every class, you should not get a stripe or a button or something. It really becomes indicative of who we're going to become as a society, where everything is a group applause and all this other stuff. It's nonsense, man. You know what? Get this kid to like it, get him to work hard, and get him to come back. And we need to work as a unit. You as the parent, me as the instructor. That we're gonna back each other up on this, and that you know what? You may not want to come to class today, but you're gonna go anyway. It's like when you were a kid and you didn't want to go to school. What did your mom do? Did she let you stay home?
No.
Come on, don't besmirch Jeannie's name.
No. I the thing was, I liked going to school, so if I wanted to stay home, she would probably
Nerd.
But yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my thing with it, and that's why sometimes the business of adult martial arts has really trended towards Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, because there's not a lot of that.
Right.
Right. It's like you can't. It's very tough to do those things with an adult unless you really have your place systemized and organized, and you have the right kind of student that would that would go for that.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's plenty of karate schools that have lots of adults that still love it. You know what I mean? They love that kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, karate's huge, and it's for the most part, most karate schools are just bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
And I had just had a guy join from a karate school, and I go, why'd you leave your school? And he goes, I was in class with kids.
yeah,
It's like a 40-year-old guy taking classes, like be me, you, Devin, and like an 7-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Like what why do I?
it's like Kramer and Seinfeld.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So and he didn't like it. And the interesting part about that guy was I do a first day deal, a second day deal. So you take 2 classes. If you join on the second day, you get a discount.
Mm-hmm.
If you come back any other day, it's more expensive. The down payment's more expensive, and the monthly payment's more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Yeah, I'm not ready to join now." He came back and he paid the more expensive rate, which was interesting because I didn't think usually when people don't take the discount, I'm seeing that as that's a pretty hard no.
Yeah,
When they say they need to go home and think about it.
yeah. I just let people think about it.
Yeah.
Play the slow game.
How's that working for you?
Great.
Awesome.
Yeah. I don't do. I don't really offer any like sign up today. You get this. It's
Right.
just, this is it.
Yeah. So
If you like it, join us. If you don't, go pound sand.
you tell them that go pound sand,
What does that mean?
pounding sand.
Well, where does that?
It gets you nowhere when you pound sand. You can go pound sand. You're not going to get to China. So I'm very transparent about it. Well, I'll let people know. I was like, you're going to come in. I'm going to give you 2 free classes. You're going to take them both. You're going to take one Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class. You're going to take a Muay Thai class. With the kids, I only have them take 1 class. And then I say, I'm going to sit you down. We're going to go over pricing, schedule, and what classes you like. I'm going to offer you a discount for joining on the second day. The only difference is that it just gets more expensive if you don't join after your second class. So I try to be very transparent. I had a guy get upset at me for doing that to him. Wrote me a 4-star as opposed to a 5-star review.
What was his complaint?
His complaint was that I wouldn't let him go home and think about it. And I did.
You just got to pay more money.
He's got to pay more money.
You gotta
Yeah,
pay more to
yeah,
think.
exactly. Yeah, just
So you're
not
penalizing good decision making.
no.
It's not penalizing. He's actually giving them a chance to get a cheaper rate. He's going to give
Exactly.
them the real rate.
Yes, exactly. You're getting a discount for joining right then and there.
Right.
Go home and think.
It's one way to look at it.
Go home and think about it.
I get it.
Yeah, you pay a premium.
I get it.
All right,
It's nice.
man. Way to back me up. What do we-
So this goes good with one of the questions
yeah, go ahead.
from Ed Lind.
Love Ed Lind.
Lind,
Lynd.
what amenities? Oh, martial arts. So he's from Preston's place.
Yeah, he's from Preston's Place. Yeah.
What amenities aside from location do you consider to be the most important in a BJJ school? What are some of the strangest amenities you've seen?
Man, so I think that one of the stranger things that I've seen given to students was supplements. I believe we were in Oregon, and they had creatine and protein and all these other things that were there for that might have been, I forget, maybe at that strength coach's place.
Yeah.
He had all that stuff available.
So when you were done your workout, you just go get some creatine?
Yeah, or some, like had some protein and stuff. But as far as amenities, I've never really seen anything where I was like, oh, that's really weird, or why do they have this? This doesn't seem congruent to having a martial arts school.
I remember this was years ago, and a guy I knew, was opening up a gym in San Diego, and he wanted to have a tattoo shop, a coffee shop. He wanted to have it like all in his gym.
Okay.
He had a huge space, but it was a little. He wanted to have a skateboard park. He wanted to have like everything.
This guy have a lot of money?
I don't think he did at the time, but
Okay.
I think he's doing okay now. I don't think he ever went with that. I mean, I actually didn't, because I went to his gym and it was just a gym.
Those things don't match.
No.
I can see if he had a massage parlor in here because you're like hurt as
Yeah,
fuck.
right, yeah. Or a cryo, one of those cryo places, yeah.
Yeah. I had actually thought about getting
Sensory deprivation tank?
an isolation tank in the gym.
That would be awesome.
But it would be tough because you would have to do it. You couldn't really do it during class hours because there'd be too much noise.
Right.
And even though there's supposed to be deprivation tanks, you can still hear stuff going on outside. So it would have to be. But the other thing is, with a martial arts school, there are a lot of hours that there's nothing going on.
There's a lot of downtime.
So,
You know who does that guy out west where Robert trains?
Robert who?
Robert Miller?
Oh, Alberto? Crane?
Alberto Crane, yeah. He looks like he fills his school up. Like there's no wasted.
Oh, he's got like fitness classes.
He's
and stuff like that.
kettlebells and club bells and like all that other stuff. He does a really good job of maximizing the hours that he's open.
But amenities, I think a shower is ideal.
But not necessary.
I mean, I put it almost at. I don't have a shower in my Chalfont gym,
Right.
but I'm just waiting because I might be moving to a different part of the building,
Okay.
but I'm just waiting on the landlords to get the shit together so I can make a move. And when we move to the new spot, I'm gonna put a shower in there.
Okay.
I put a shower in my first Bridgeport spot, which in hindsight I was only there for about a year. I didn't really need it, but I like it just for myself. I like to have a shower.
When we had showers on Main Street, I was the one that used it the most.
Yeah. I think I've seen gyms that had a gi washing service, which I think that could be very cool.
Yeah.
If you get done training, just leave your gi.
And then
And
you have like a
come
little
back.
locker or cubby and your gi's ready.
And you could even have it separated where it's like, I'll be back tomorrow. Your gi will be ready tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll be back Friday. It'll be there by Friday. You know
Now,
what I mean?
is it your gi they're washing, or is it just like, hey?
No, it was your gi.
Okay,
And you
so it
could-
wasn't
I
like
mean,
an
you could-
A or any A3.
It was
that
just
they
if
give
if you left it there and put it in the wash, you would get it back, and it would be like, I don't know, $5 or whatever.
Nice.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of neat.
Yeah. I think that would actually be really cool. I'm just not organized enough to do it.
Yeah,
That's dope.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah,
of
it would
work. It's
be.
a lot
It
of
would
work.
be super
No,
cool.
yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
You just need to sort of like outsource it.
You got to have somebody like a
Yeah.
guy, right? Like
Yeah.
that would handle all that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would buy like a gi wash membership. Like, don't just charge me $50 a month or something. Just keep washing my shit.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I think that would be cool to do. I'll write that down. I might do that.
That's a revenue source. We just figured it out right there.
I think amenities. I was at a.
Some places have pro shops, but I mean that's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, but I was at a gym where they had like a whole juice bar, and they went out of business pretty quick. So
Yeah.
they had they would make protein shakes and all kinds of bullshit.
Yeah, so I think that the two biggest things that need to occur, I think, for a martial arts school to be successful is somebody needs to know how to sell, and somebody needs to be there at the school teaching. Those are the two things.
I think that goes without saying. I mean,
I know, but I
think
mean,
there's a lot more that needs it needs to be successful.
such
I mean,
as-
depending on how you're defining successful.
Right.
Like successful is in like the doors are open.
right? You don't
You know what I
need
mean?
the amenities to do those kinds of things. You don't need a super pretty school if you're if that's your selling point, right? You can have a not so pretty school,
Right.
and as you can, you know how to sell, you're good to go. And if you have somebody there, because what I feel like the one of the most important amenities that you can give a student is consistency, right? And knowing that you're going to be open
It's
on
going to
time.
be consistently dirty and stinky. You know
Well,
what I mean? So I mean, that's like you need more than just selling and somebody showing up. You need to have a place that is somewhat
so
clean.
I'm trying to make
the
the
mats get clean.
the contrast of saying you can have this beautiful pearl of a school and people don't show up to teach, or they show up late.
Yeah, I've
and,
seen, I've seen both.
Yeah,
I've seen.
but nobody's talking about leaving your school dirty where you could get MRSA. I'm not talking about those kinds of things.
Okay, you didn't add that into the two things you need for a successful school.
I said two things you can have as or more important than amenities.
You said the two things you need
As a more important
for a
than
successful
and,
school. is what
and
you
an
said.
enemy.
So I think there's more than just those two things. But
So go ahead, run them down.
okay, somewhat clean, at least not filthy.
You would know about that.
Yeah, I keep my gym
Somewhat clean.
not filthy. Trying to think. You need good instructors. You don't just need somebody.
Nope. I disagree with you wholeheartedly.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I mean,
I know plenty of successful places with terrible instructors. Go on, next part of your list.
what are they?
What's that?
How, like, what do you mean they have shitty instructors? Just by you might not think that they're good instructors, but if they're producing, in a certain sense, they have to be good instructors.
Why
They
would
might
you-
not be able to. They might not be the most technical, but at a certain level, they're connecting with the student, and the students keep showing up.
This student has no idea what good instruction is. So to them, this shitty instruction is amazing. They have no frame of reference.
What's an example?
Well, we don't name names, so
You don't have to give me a name.
Yeah.
But give me an example of like I don't know. Just give me.
Well, give me an example of really good instruction without naming names. That makes a school successful.
Me. I didn't name anybody.
No, yeah.
No, just eventually you won't be successful if you don't have good instruction.
I disagree with you again. I think there's plenty of schools with bad instruction that are really successful.
Overall bad instruction. You're saying they have overall bad instruction.
Overall bad instruction, yeah.
Well, I mean, are you saying like at a karate school that like where they're just teaching like kind of nonsense? Is that what you're talking about?
Part of it, yeah.
Okay, well then you have I can agree with that. But as far as like a jiu-jitsu school with bad instruction, I don't think there are good jiu-jitsu schools, successful jiu-jitsu schools with bad instruction.
You don't think there are successful? Okay, I can. They're probably not. No.
So there,
but we're talking about martial arts schools.
Okay, fine. So if you're just now you're saying like arts are bad. So like
No. I'm saying because the watering down of certain martial arts has really made it okay to be a bad instructor, right? And be able to produce students and maybe give people black belts in 3 years, where the tradition and what the way jiu-jitsu was brought to this country was one of the major concepts was how good we can teach you.
right. And again, this is why I think you have to define what you mean by successful. If successful just means they make money, or successful means that the people are becoming good at what they're trying to become good at.
All right, so what's your metric then?
That is like it of course should make money, but the people should be getting a quality product that should be done by people that are qualified,
Right.
and it's being delivered well, and the people that are getting better at what they want to get better at. So even if you go to a ninjutsu school, and ninjutsu is pretty much bullshit. There's no ninjas walking around.
Whoa.
I said
We've hung our whole podcasting career on the idea of ninja rap,
I thought it was a joke.
and you're gonna besmirch the whole art.
All right, let's say give me Aikido.
All right,
All right,
I'm glad you
Aikido,
backtracked
Aikido is a useless martial art,
against somebody with a sword.
but somebody could teach it very well,
Bro,
and you can get really good at
sensei.
it.
Hold on. So Aikido is useless?
Completely useless. Has zero practical application.
If somebody's attacking you with a sword, you're good to go.
Even then, you're dead. If you could be the most amazing.
Have you seen some Aikido videos? What these guys can do?
Yes, it's all bullshit. Aikido is complete. It's a useless martial art if you're talking about any sort of like defending yourself or getting into a fight. If you're talking about an activity where
Ballet,
you can move, like just be somewhat active,
Pilates,
and yeah, it's useless. I mean, I don't know.
It's the Pilates of self-defense, is what you're saying?
I don't really know what Pilates is.
Oh man, I wish my partner Chuck was here, man.
Why is that?
That's what he does.
Pilates?
Aikido.
We should have him on the show.
Yeah, really.
How
does he feel wasting his money?
I'm gonna ask him.
And this is what they'll all say. Anybody that does Aikido, well, they're not doing real Aikido. That's what they all say. Everybody says like the old Aikido was like it was legit. It's all nonsense. Like from the beginning to the end.
So Aikido is what Steven Seagal was doing?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That says it all right there. I mean, like I used to love his movies because it was like he could make it look cool in a movie.
The demos are great. Aikido demos are awesome.
Yeah, like the most impressive thing about the Aikido demo is how good the guys are at pretending to get thrown through the air.
Their break falls are sick.
You know what I mean? They're really good at that. But so you could have an amazingly successful Aikido school in that you have 1,000 students.
So you have a successful business.
They're getting good at Aikido, but the problem is Aikido will get you killed if anyone tries to punch you in the face.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right.
So
that was my point. Is that the fact is like there's a lot of successful schools that are typically not teaching jiu-jitsu, probably not teaching what we would say is effective, but also modern mixed martial arts styles. Because most of those places go away because the bullshit meter in most modern mixed martial arts schools is very high. The student sensitivity to it, right? Where I don't think it's the adult student sensitivity is not there for the more traditional martial arts, where they'll deal with the BS and the fireballs and the one touch knockouts and all that other nonsense. So,
what was your point?
My point was that we can have very successful martial arts schools and they still suck. We typically, but I agree with you, where most jiu-jitsu schools, if they've been around for a while, which is part of a metric of success, is they're not bullshit. Right. They have at least better than decent instruction.
But then I would say it's not the school is great. The instructor is great. It's just that they spent their entire life on a useless.
Right. They picked the wrong horse.
Martial art. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's.
All right, so there's
a successful school.
And we were going down the list of what you think, what are some of the metrics you use to point out a successful school?
For a jiu-jitsu school now.
I think
are we talking about jiu-jitsu school? Or are we talking
I think we should talk about like martial arts in general, right? Like, so what, and you can delineate one from the other.
They're teaching something that's effective.
Okay.
That will, because most people that do martial arts are looking for some form of self-defense.
Adults.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. And even especially for kids, like kids should be learning how to defend themselves.
Right.
So if you're teaching self-defense, it should work. You know what I mean? At a certain
should be based on some sort of reality that you could look back and say, now I understand why they're teaching this and why this works.
Right.
As opposed to a belief system. This works because I'm telling you it works.
Right.
Yeah.
That's. I forgot where we are now. So I said. It's got to keep the doors open. It's got to make money.
Okay. A lot of places do that, right?
It's got to have qualified instructors.
Okay.
A qualified instructor would be somebody that they don't necessarily have to be like a great competitor or anything, but they have to be able to translate the skill to the student and be able to improve the student, like help the student learn, in a coherent way.
That's just some sort of gang sign. I don't know. I've been really into the Bloods and Crips lately. And what happened at Death Row?
No, it just meant 15 minutes. But cut.
Oh, what happened at Death Row?
You didn't hear about what Keefe D said?
No.
Man,
I've been watching a lot of DJ Vlad though. I mean,
I've been watching. Yeah,
I know
he
some
threw
stuff.
He threw Orlando Anderson under the bus. Keefe D.
I don't know Orlando Anderson either.
He's the guy that shot Tupac.
Oh, okay.
You don't know the?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Keefe D. They have more. They video the audio recording of it. But go ahead. So we got 15 minutes. I thought maybe he was throwing up some treetop pyro symbols, but no offense, not that I want to go to war with any of the treetop.
What are we talking about again?
I don't know, man. It's really gone off the rails.
Jumping like all over the place.
I am.
man.
You're the one that was talking about the metrics of a successful school. I'm trying to
And then
bring
went
you
into
back on path.
Crips and the Bloods.
Oh, well, I got a gang signal. What can I tell you? I'm very sensitive to it. Yeah. Well, here we are.
You make it really hard to follow sometimes. It's like
follow. You're leading. You're leading.
and then I get interrupted with gang signs and Chief Keef.
You looked at Keefy D, not Chief Keef. Get
Exactly.
your
But
guy.
now I have even more Keefs to remember. And I can't,
But don't tell me this is not important to you.
not at the moment.
Okay. Off air, we could talk about who killed Tupac.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's Orlando Anderson, but anyway. Hey, man, we keep it fresh here, you know. But
Yeah,
all right, so
definitely fresh.
you were saying what you thought was good, showed a successsual school, but we could get off that. We have another question, and I got something I wanted to talk about as well.
Okay.
Yeah. What's the other question? I don't have the phone. You can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gentleman. It should be gentleman.
Oh, okay.
There's only one gentleman here.
Thank
What
you.
are your favorite guard passes? More specifically, if you could pick I feel like this might be a little him trying to get you. Maybe you sent this in.
No, I didn't.
More specifically, if you could pick a passing position to get to in a match, for example, stack pass, over/under, what would it be? P.S.
Wait, you gotta read. You gotta read the name.
This is from Gabe Lackfella.
Gabe Lackfella. P.S.
It just hit me.
Gabe Lackfella.
Do you know a Gabe Lackfella?
I probably do know Gabe Lackfella.
I don't.
What's his P.S.?
P.S. is what. What is your favorite position to finish from?
Yeah, I know what he did there.
Yeah.
Gabe Lackfella. So if this is a serious question, Gabe, I will address the first part.
So I'll tell you what.
Go ahead.
From a comedic standpoint, this is the most brilliant question I've ever read. Now I know exactly who it was.
He denies it, by the way.
But I'm going to answer this question.
Go ahead.
In a serious way. A favorite guard pass.
All right, because I wouldn't want to. I'd like to know where you like finishing from.
Okay, I'll answer that too.
Yeah.
From the back, of course. Favorite guard pass is the guard pass that works. You know what I mean? Like I don't.
Jesus Christ.
What? So my favorite guard pass is the Toriando pass, and then he pulls close guard, and you can't use it.
So it could still be your favorite guard pass.
Right.
It's just not working against
So my
close
favorite
guard.
guard pass is the one that works. I'm a generalist. I use whatever. I'm like Bruce Lee.
Yeah, clearly. A lot of bullshit. So your favorite guard pass is
My
the
favorite
Toriano.
is the
is the one that works. Great.
Actually, it would probably be like a Toriando pass. The ones that take
No, it's the one that works. But it's closed guard, so it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
The Toriando.
So it'd probably be the
What if
Toriando
you split their
pass.
guard? Could you get the Toriando?
Well, there would be several steps before that, but I could eventually.
Right.
Yeah, I like passes that take big payoff with little effort. So I think like stack passing, over under passing, those are like slow sort of plotting. They kind of take a lot of effort. Whereas the Toriando pass is kind of like you're right by it. You kind of bypass the guard.
So
one-
it's like a
one big motion.
shortcutty kind of.
Shortcut.
Yeah. Shortcut to good technique.
But I also believe you have to be good at all of it. You have to,
Right.
you have to be able to chain everything together.
Okay.
So whatever works.
Cool.
And I like my favorite position to finish from is definitely the back.
Yeah.
Love
While
it.
you're on their back or while they're on your back?
I like to be on their back.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Chokes, arm bars.
So Gabe Lackfella, you hear that? Tim likes to finish.
I read that name like 50 times, and then I said it out loud.
I saw when the email came in, I saw it right away, and I fired the text out, and they're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I go, you know what we're talking about.
Man.
My
Did he send it in Gorilla Mail?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like how he sent it in Gorilla Mail, but put his name.
Oh, Gabe Lackfella.
Gabe,
Little Gabe. So my favorite pass is the over-under pass. I think for me, it's a pass that I've been able to make work in a lot of instances. Yes, very slow plotting, works gi, no gi. I have a lot of different variations of getting there, and I feel like I have a high level of success. The other thing that it does is it fits into the style of jiu-jitsu that I have, which isn't like clearly slow plotting, pressure. Right, I think it's a more of a pressure style, but I do agree with you. If it doesn't, if it's not appropriate for that particular guard, then I would use something else. But I would not be using my favorite guard pass. I'd be using a guard pass that was more appropriate for the guard that I'm approaching. Yeah. Well, I like to finish off my back.
Off your back.
Yeah.
I've heard that about you. Yeah, it's like a lot of the my favorite ways to pass the guard is. A lot of times it's not necessarily I like sort of just jumping past it.
Okay.
And getting the guy misdirected and
starting
your
instructional video the other day was very good, and you did something
Which one?
The one that you posted on the Ninja Rob Instagram. It was really good, and you showed a very high level of athleticism. Very surprised by that when you jumped over from one side to the other. I didn't think you had it in you.
I wouldn't consider that athletic.
A lot of people would, yeah.
Really?
It was especially a guy your size, girth, and lack of athleticism.
I don't think it's athleticism. It's grace and.
No.
I think it's just a graceful movement.
Nah, I don't think so.
I've always moved gracefully. I've never been athletic though.
I don't think you've ever done either, but I digress. So yeah, I like to finish off my back, usually triangles, chokes, arm locks, that kind of stuff. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about is weird things that have happened.
Oh wait.
Go ahead.
I want to talk about your bocce ball.
Oh.
What's bocce ball?
You've never played bocce ball?
No.
Sport of Kings.
Italian guys? South Philly guys?
Italian South Philly guys.
Yeah.
You gotta have both of them. It's the thing I'm most passionate about for the next couple weeks.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I like those things.
I'm gonna take a super deep dive.
So it'll be the podcast will be on hold for a few weeks.
It'll be the Ninja Rob Bocce podcast. Yeah, so my dear friend Nate and I played the other day. We wanted to play. There's a bocce court near his house. And it was just fun to do something that wasn't jiu-jitsu and outside and some fresh air. And so do you have no clue how to play bocce?
No.
There's 4 balls. Maybe Gabe Lackfella would play to get involved. Anyway, there's actually 5 balls, which would be weird if Gabe was there. Anyway. There's 5 balls. One of them is called a Pallini. It's a little one. And you throw the Pallini down the court, right? So the scoring works. I think there's 10 or 12 rounds. Whoever gets closest. No, wait, there's 8 balls. Sorry. 9 balls.
All right, let's move on to your story.
There's 9 balls. There's a Pallini, which is you want your ball to get closest to, right?
You went from 4 to 9.
So there's the Pallini, which counts as 1. You get 4 balls. I get 4 balls, right? We throw the Pallini. Whoever gets closest to the Pallini scores a point. If I have the 2 closest balls to the Pallini, I get 2 points. If I have the 3 closest, 3 points, 4 closest, 4 points. And then we tally up the points over the 10 or 12 rounds, and the winner is declared King of South Philly.
That sounds amazing.
It's so much fun.
I bet it is.
You want to come play?
No, I'll bet it's fun though.
You want to come play?
Yeah, I learned how to play rummy.
How was that? I played gin.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's once you understand it.
Like 500 rummy or?
I don't know.
You have to keep score?
They called it Hungarian rummy. It was when I was in Hungary.
Oh, interesting.
So it's basically like that. I don't think there's really any rules. They just make them up as they go.
Gotcha.
Whatever works to fuck you over in the moment.
So what are we going to talk about Scotty Nelson?
Yeah.
He's living in Puerto Rico now.
I thought he was in Mexico.
No, he's living in Puerto Rico. He ran into Carlos. They sent me a picture of them two together.
Nice.
Yeah. So years ago, I'm on the internet.
Yeah, I remember something. He was making geese.
He was in Pakistan.
Trying to source geese.
He was trying to source geese in Pakistan. Right, for On the Mat. I don't know. I wonder if he's even still involved with On the Mat.
Is On the Mat still around?
I think so. I'm not sure. They were a very successful gi company. Probably the first ones to make like an expensive, American gi, American company.
They were awesome.
Yeah. Great and awesome dudes.
Put out great DVDs.
Awesome DVDs. And he was one of the first guys that I met in Brazil that I hadn't gone to Brazil with, just like this American dude. And he was just like, everybody would go to his apartment, right? Like if you were American and you were in Brazil down there doing jiu-jitsu, you hung out at Scotty's, right? You know, and he was just like a super cool dude. Seems like he's crazy successful now. He's running a hospital in Mexico, or the marketing arm of the hospital in Mexico. So he's doing great. And I'm on the internet, and this is what's great about jiu-jitsu, because he keeps such crazy hours. Like I'm up at 3 a.m. surfing the internet, and I don't think I was.
I mean, I do jiu-jitsu too. I was dead asleep at 3 a.m. What were we doing up at 3 a.m?
Surfing the internet, trying to
That has
find
nothing to do with doing jiu-jitsu.
trying to find girls. So I get an AOL instant message from Scotty. Right, this is how long ago this was. Help! I'm in Pakistan. They're trying to kill me. Right, and I go, ha ha. I just crossed over into the border to North Korea. Send somebody to save me. He goes, no, I'm serious. Here's my mother's number. Call her. Tell her to call her contacts in Iran to see if they can get me some help. I go, right? I go, dude, are you serious? He goes, 100%. Marco, he's like, I'm so glad you're online. You gotta contact my mom. I call Scotty's mom, and it's like she got a big gig. Oh, that's Scotty. He's up to his tricks again. You know, she's like, oh, yeah, we used to live in Tehran. Scotty's father was part of the American University. I remember when they were overthrowing the Shah, Scotty's beautiful blonde-haired, blue-eyed little boy sticking his head out of the window saying, down with the Shah in Farsi, like, and all this other stuff. It's like a super interesting story. She's like, yeah, I'll call my friends in Iran. I know they know some generals in Pakistan, and they'll make sure that he's okay. And I'm like, are you sure? She goes, yeah, 100%. I'm like, all right. And then he's like, a couple hours later, he's like, yeah, you know, the generals came, they took care of me, you know, like they sent some troops, because there were these guys in this hotel that were trying to kick his door in. He put out a whole crazy story of how he was planning to defend himself with like hairspray and a lighter in his room, because he was super worried that he was going to get murdered in Pakistan trying to source geese. It was, you know, probably right at the height of.
That he had some money and they were trying to.
I don't know, you know, like if you're in certain areas of Pakistan, they're probably not used to seeing blonde-haired, blue-eyed dudes.
I think all areas of Pakistan are pretty rough.
Yeah, I don't know. I have my cousin of mine. She's living in Pakistan right now. I think she's living in Islamabad. But the one you met her, she works for the FAO, the GAO, FAO, the Food Aid Organization. She's out there.
She's Codex Alimentarius.
Codex Alimentarius. Look it up. And yeah, he said, man, he was super worried. Like they were trying to kick his door in. They were, you know, it was like super crazy. Then he tried to get in. He tried to get on an episode of Locked Up Abroad or Kidnapped Abroad. You know, one of those like Kidnapped Abroad type deals.
Did they get him? I mean,
no, they didn't. They didn't. Almost Kidnapped Abroad would have been the episode he was on.
So did he? But he didn't get.
He didn't get hurt. He didn't get injured. But he said it was like they fucked with him kinda? All night. They kept kicking his door in, and he was like, "Man, I'm out here by myself. I'm trying to source these geese." You know, and then the next thing you know, this like general and some Pakistani army dudes were like, "Yeah, come with us. We'll take care of you. We'll talk to the hotel."
Does he know who they were?
The friends of a friend. Yeah.
No, who the guys that were coming after?
No, I didn't really get to that part of the story, or I never really thought to ask him. But yeah, so thanks to me, On the Mat was able to flourish.
Thanks to your deviant nighttime habits
of 3 a.m. trying to pick up women on the internet, in chat rooms. That was my thing.
Let's talk about real quick.
Yeah.
Remember the picture I sent you of that dude that, like, we think he might have heard our podcast?
No.
The guy that was offering me things. Remember? I sent it to the group chat.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been getting harassed. He's still
so, for those of you that don't know, Tim has been approached by a transgendered male.
No.
Male to female.
Transgender female.
She's female to male.
A dude dressed as a girl.
But are they transitioning?
I don't know. I don't know much about their history. I just know that
Tim took some screen captures of was it on Tinder? Grindr? What was it? Where
it was on Instagram.
It was they were sending you messages on Instagram, right? So what my favorite part of that whole discussion was they asked you, why did you take a picture of the and you're like, oh, I didn't know I did that.
I mean, what am I supposed to? I was gonna.
You own up to it.
I gotta send it to my friends.
Yeah.
I want to see. I want to show who.
I want to show my buddies, but I laughed my ass off because of the picture that this person sent with the cat or like that was a mouse, like a rabbit, like emoji face thing,
Yeah.
and with the mud flaps all out.
Yeah. You can see
like pantless.
You can see the equipment.
And he seemed to be very adamant, or she seemed to be very adamant about how passable they were and how good of a job they would do of making you finish.
Very persistent.
Yeah.
Which is weird because
they didn't respect, but you were very kind to this person.
I was like, look, I'm a married man. I only like women.
I mean, you said you claim to be into biological women.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I think
So when you say you're getting harassed, what's going on?
I got more pictures today.
Really?
And this is like, because that happened like over a week ago.
That's got to be like
And I
3 weeks ago.
I thought I
maybe.
had squashed it. I thought it was very clear that I was not interested.
Have you made
in
any
what they were
trips to
offering.
New York lately?
No, but I'd like to. Not for that reason.
Oh no! All right.
But I'm thinking I'm gonna rescind my allyship with the T's.
Because of this one person.
Yeah, I mean, if this is what is gonna happen,
Well, this might not be indicative of what the T's are like. This is just like anybody that's attracted to you is coming after you. That's all they're doing. This is just a human instinct.
yeah, they just can't control themselves.
I mean, apparently, like I don't see it, I don't get it, but this person is highly
I
attracted
think
to
I'm
you.
still allied with the G's.
What do you think their favorite finishing position is?
The T's?
No, this person.
I don't even want to like try to guess.
Yeah.
I don't want to envision that.
But yeah, so
Be careful what you say on podcasts.
Why is that?
Because you might.
You might get you might get hurt. So you really think this person heard this podcast and contacted you?
I mean, I can't think of any other reason why. It was strange timing. It was like right after the podcast.
I think
came
they
out.
call that kismet.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either. Do you?
Yes.
What does it mean?
I had to look it up.
You ever see The Princess Bride?
I did.
When he's like, I do not think it means what you think it means.
No, kismet I think means when I'm not going to go into what I think it means. Yeah. But for you know what I like is how much of like a grammar file you are, but your vocabulary is not very extensive.
Vocabulary is great.
No.
So my vocab. So you might know a lot of words, but I don't think you know exactly what they mean.
No,
you often use them wrong.
No. Like, give me an example.
I mean, I'll point it out when I hear it. I usually just let it slide because I don't want to be
that guy.
Yeah, because you're sometimes you try to force in the big word when it doesn't need to be there, and I think a lot of times, just like I said, so my vocabulary is very good. I know I've heard the word kismet.
Right.
I just don't feel comfortable using it because, I don't know what it means.
I do know what it means.
You know what it means
I
somewhat
can't,
contextually. You know what it means.
100%. Right. Yeah.
But
So if I were to have
define
to, if I were to have to think about what the true definition of it is, my understanding is that it's got something to do with love. It's got something to do with timing, right? So it's when love and timing come together, like this transgendered person and you coming together is kismet.
So next week, we will come back with the definition of
kismet. Yes.
All right.
Is it kismet or not? And we'll also find out more about what it's like dating a transgender person.
From who?
Well, I mean,
Gabe Lackfella?
Or Tim Carpenter, either one. All right, so that's it. And I really don't think that I use words improperly.
I mean, I'll try to point it out next time I hear it.
All right, I'll go back and point it out.
I won't do it on the show. I don't want to
No. We would. This will be part of it.
I'll just do it in our normal
conversation.
Bickering.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you everyone for, as always, for listening, putting up with what we had to talk about today. Peace. Tim and I would like to thank our sound engineer and studio owner, Devin Wade, for always doing a great job with the sound, but also the beautiful facility that we get to use here at SFX Studios. We'd also like to thank Eddie Lynn, who takes and donates his time to the podcast to do all the video editing and everything you see on our social media. So really appreciate that from Eddie Lynn. And we'd also like to thank our friend Ralphie Darden, aka DJ Major Taylor, who gave us the original music that we use. So you're welcome, Tim. For
and almost just as importantly as everybody else that he mentioned, we would like to thank all of our listeners that submitted questions.
This is the Ninja Rob Podcast with Marco Perazzo and Tim Carpenter, the podcast for the true martial artist.